not to forgive him in terms of like say it was okay or anything, because obviously I was fucking furious about it.
He actually owes you massively because you helped hugely to repair what was quite a broken image. In fact, if I'm honest, my personal view was totally re-swayed after watching a couple of interviews. So I think he owes you massively because a lot of people were done.
Yeah, a lot of interviews didn't even help. Like Casey Neistat, he interviewed him.
That was a bad one.
It didn't help at all, no.
Casey was like, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. Yeah. We talked about that when he first came to my flat, and he was like, I was like, look, I seen the Casey interview, and I went, yeah, it was bad. Wow. And I was like, look, I know you might be expecting this to just attack you and bring you down, but I was like, I want to do a good interview today where we actually get you to be who you really are. So here's what I'm going to do. If you want to re-edit anything out of this podcast, then you can have the last edit on it. I'm just going to ask you honest questions, and I want to have a real fucking conversation. I'm not trying to fuck you over here. Like, I just want to fucking have a chat.
And did he edit anything out?
No, he didn't even. He was like, look, I'm not going to do that, but I really appreciate it. And because as an interviewer, you got to like get the human side out of them, and he was so dehumanized by that point because he was just like the worst person in the fucking world, which was even on my part was an overreaction, although for personal reasons I was fucking really pissed off. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Hugh, and to be honest with you, after private chats with Logan, I think he knows that, and weirdly we've helped each other in ways, and that's why there's like some sort of weird little friendship there now. And he's, like I said before, he's actually a good fucking bloke. He just really fucked up, and I can't say I wouldn't. I mean, I've already made my own fuck-ups in life, but like, if I was 23 and had made £35 million in merch in a year, I'm not saying I would have fucked up like he did, but I probably would have fucked up in a different way. I mean, I think we all know how I would have fucked up. So I would have been like fucking Dan Bilzerian times a million. You know what I mean? So yeah, and he is an actual good bloke. But this is the thing. I owe a lot to him and JJ. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to sound like, I don't want people to think I'm just like on either side. I just want them both to do all right.
Well, then, in that case, then, Brian, tell me, is JJ actually 6 foot? Because the Taylor's Help says he's 6 foot. Now, I watched a Vidal Riley video earlier where he's listed as 5'11" by Vidal, and we both hugged JJ.
How tall are you, lads?
Six and a bit.
You must be 6 foot.
Are you 6 and a little?
6?
Yeah, I'm 6 and a little. Why?
People don't realise how big Lawrence is when because they think, because I make Lawrence look sort of smaller.
He dwarfs me.
But Lawrence is really tall. Yeah. Like you, what are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah.
You look good for it as well.
Hateful.
Well, anyway, I would say...
What are you, 5 foot dead?
Bang on, yeah.
It is funny, though, because, I don't know, some people list above, and I don't quite know why, but 6 foot makes someone sound more powerful, doesn't it?
Well, is it for the tail of the tape to make it look like a more even fight?
But then the funny thing is, Vidal actually lists JJ on the last video they made together, which I think came out not long ago, as 5'11".
Do you include, all the hair? Do you push down on the hair to make sure that you're...
in my opinion, JJ, he is not 6 foot. He can't be 6 foot, can he? He's not 6 foot.
Honestly, I've stood next to him. I don't feel like I'm looking at someone who's the same eye height as me.
What is 6 foot?
What is 6 foot anyway between me?
Is someone who
People
can look
shrink every night,
No, people grow anyway. And then there's obviously a difference in weight. We saw that at the weigh-in yesterday.
Mate, that weigh-in... the first weigh-in, I was stood right behind them, so I got a really good idea of like their thickness and their back size and like just their general, like who was the bigger guy. Oh, look at the odds on that! I tell you what, decisions. If I had my way, no, but
that badonka.
Yeah. And that was just Deji. No,
Deji is thick.
Yeah. No, he's a nice lad. But the serious thing is, they actually looked about the same size. They looked about the same size. Different shape, obviously, but about the same. And then it's like, Logan went, yeah, fuck all that vegan shit. I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to eat meat. And then Logan's turned up a year later, and I'm like, yeah, you don't look like you're in the same weight class anymore. And if this was like the UFC... JJ would be a middleweight and Logan would be a light heavyweight almost. Like they look that different to me.
Is it true about him putting on 20 pounds of muscle?
No, he's not put on 20 pounds of muscle. I'd say he's probably put on about 5 pounds of muscle and about 7 pounds of water weight.
Do you want to look at the difference in their bodies? Who would you like to go to first?
Go to JJ first?
Can we go to JJ? Can we look at JJ?
We got the evolution.
Oh, that's true.
Logan first. Sorry, Logan first.
It's like the
My bad.
Pokemon.
So this was Logan, the evolution of Logan. So on the left there, I think he's in the 180s. He was really lean there. Middle there, we're looking at about 190.
I tell you, is hers improved?
Squirtle, Wartortle, and
You
Blastoise.
can see me just to the right of Logan there behind him. Not impressed, apparently. And then
his arse must have been very disappointing.
Yeah, I was like, these white boys ain't got an arse. What a shame. And then Logan on the right there, 205 pounds, which if you're from England is 14.6 stone. And to be honest with you, you see UFC fighters cutting to 205 all the time. Like, he is as big as you can possibly be for a 205er. Maybe like a John Jones is bigger, but like it's very hard to be 205 and look that big. It's unusual. I don't know, I don't want to bore people, but the way his body is proportioned, muscularity-wise and frame-wise, it's so weird for him to be that big and only weigh 14. I know guys who look 17, 18 stone and don't look as big as Logan. Do you know what I mean?
Some people have the genes, right?
Yeah.
Very thick mass he's got, or very light mass.
Like when Conor McGregor made 145, you look at him like, how the fuck do you make that? You're massive for that weight.
Yeah.
Like, he's got those huge shoulders, those long arms, and a tiny little waist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
wingspan. Do you want to see JJ as well?
Yeah, let's look at
Let's look at JJ's fine ass. There it is.
Dude, I remember the first time JJ took his kit off on the left there when he was about to fight Joe Weller. And beforehand, he'd never shown his top, never shown his belly, rather. And he takes his shirt off.
There was almost a gasp.
There was a gasp in the room. There was a holy shit. He actually can.
Delicious.
Like, he looks like. Yum, yum, yum. Yum. No, fuck, imagine you've just tuned in at this point. Like, what the fuck is this
It's
shit?
like watching loose women.
Yeah. Oh, if I had my way, if I was 10 years younger.
Yummy, I must say.
No,
Ronan Keating's on with us later.
people were just like, holy shit, this guy actually has trained and he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
We knew straight away he was ready for the fight. And in the middle, I think JJ, by his own admission, he actually doesn't look as well conditioned for that fight.
No.
Different
and then
lighting.
on the right, that is like him at his best. I think there's not a question in my mind, looking at him on the right there, JJ could go fucking 10 rounds tonight.
However,
No doubt.
However, if we're just looking, I know there's a lot more to this, but if you're just looking at the physiques, it's incomparable, isn't it?
No, but look, God, we
I wouldn't say incomparable.
we don't learn anything, do we?
No, of course.
I mean,
of course,
Tony
but
Bellew and David Hay proved that.
No, and
Andy Ruiz.
Ruiz and Joshua.
Mr. fucking Snickers
Yeah.
himself.
Yes, Ruiz and Joshua is a perfect example of that. But just analysing the physiques, that's incomparable. Logan there is in exceptional shape, flawless shape.
But that's
JJ's
genetic.
good.
That's genetics, in my opinion. That's not like who one's made more effort than the other.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. But that
Although
is
Logan,
so
even when you
impressive.
see him in real life, JJ relatively is maybe more impressive in terms of what he's achieved physically.
Well, JJ, it's a different kind of impressiveness because
Exactly.
JJ is a performance-related impressiveness. It's, wow, he can throw punches forever.
And
you know what I mean?
Logan, we hugged both men, but when I was hugging Logan, I was like,
I love how you're evaluating that.
all on the
I was
hug.
literally like,
How long did you hug him for?
a good 2 seconds.
Do you measure it?
I love the fact
do your
that
hands
I love the fact that
Before I
JJ's
went
like,
in, I
going,
went-
you can let go now, and he's like, no, I'm not quite done yet.
No, the body fat's below.
Yeah. We're going to use this as analysis in about 15 days, mate. Just give me a second.
I'm just saying that's the way it is.
What,
We can
so
also
what?
look at the two
Did you
side
think
by
that Logan was like?
side. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I felt like Logan was a lot bigger physically. He just looks and feels bigger. Not only height-wise, but that also gives him more of a frame to build on.
Yeah, I mean,
He feels more hollow, though, when you hug him. I'm just saying.
see, I don't place as much importance on the muscles.
Those two side by side.
It's more about the actual what they can do with it that I'm interested in.
Did you at all feel like the flexing yesterday from JJ JJ looked like he was trying to make himself very big. I'm not saying that as a put down. I'm just honestly evaluating.
I think they
it.
both did.
They've both got a game plan. We've watched the last fight. We've seen that Logan early on is dangerous. He's really strong with the jab. He was popping JJ's head all over the place. It looked kind of embarrassing for a few minutes, right? We were worried. We've also seen that JJ knows now that his stamina's not going to last. So if he can see himself through that, with that new lean physique and be a bit quicker, you're going to be dangerous. You'll stay on the move. You're certainly going to be the better of the two of the moving.
So there's a guy, I'm going to drop him in it a little bit here, but I respect him a lot, called Tony Jeffries, who's he was a bronze medalist in the Olympics for England. And he's from Sunderland, and we like, DM every now and then, have a bit chat. And he trains in LA, and he DM'd me and he went, I've just been to see Logan sparring. I was like, oh, how's that going? He went, 6 rounds, no problem. Different fucking opponent every time. Toyed with him. He looks like he's been boxing years. I'm off to the betting shop right now. Now, to be fair, the point, the most interesting thing, I couldn't give a fuck about the opponent. It was the amount of rounds he was doing. It was like, I think he might have done 10 rounds or whatever. I can't remember. But the point was, he was like, he doesn't look like he's gassing at all this time. So for JJ, and like Vidal said when he was here, there has to be more than just hope for him to gas out, because there's one other thing that might happen here. We're all hoping for a bit of a brawl and one person to be a clear winner. But what we might get is a bit of an Anthony Joshua from Logan, where he's popping that jab and JJ's like, all right, I'm going to try and get through. Oh shit, and all of a sudden we're in the 3rd, 4th round. Shit, he's not getting tired here. Got to take a risk now. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Logan's... Because this is... When I first started boxing and doing MMA and all that, like years and years ago, what I realised is it takes you at least 6 months before your shoulders are actually acclimatized to constantly throwing punches. I remember being class out of 2 rounds. Like, out the gate, but then 4th round, I was fucked. And when I was watching Logan, I got a little bit of, like, remembering what it was like when your muscles aren't used... Because this is the thing, Logan's like a weightlifter, a wrestler. He's used to, like, that 10 reps and then have a rest. He's not used to fucking bang, 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 bang for 3 minutes solid each time. It wouldn't be surprising to me after 40 months of training if the gassing out isn't actually a factor here. So what is actually going to be on show is, like, as JJ keeps saying to them, skill, boxing IQ, how you actually get... Simply waiting for him to get tired, you got to force that to happen. Like,
of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Sorry,
You've got
I'm
to
not
make him work, right?
Yeah.
Let's just get one thing really straight, right? The more muscle mass you're carrying, the more oxygen you need, right? And the quicker, if you are exerting constantly, you're going to burn out. The bigger you are, the faster that will happen. And yes, there'll be more power or whatever it is behind whatever you're doing, but it's got to be quick impact. So he's going to be looking to finish this early, surely. Otherwise, we're going against, the laws of physics.
But you can still
science.
be fit, can't he? He could still be fit enough to carry him through the rounds.
I mean,
even if he's burning the oxygen quicker.
If you look at the top heavyweights, the guys who've been, doing this professionally since they were 6 years old or whatever it is, they all tire. Right? This guy won't be any different. He's not going to be superhuman unless there's other stuff going on. I'm sorry, that's just the way that the body works.
I agree. It's a little bit...
It's to do with red blood cells.
It's a bit like Anthony Joshua. In the first sort of 5 rounds, that's when he's looking at the window of opportunity, isn't he?
And a lot of the time, especially with someone like Anthony Joshua, it's about knowing to be able to pace yourself. Does he have the experience not to jump in and go mad? Because as soon as JJ gets him to bite, that's the moment where everything else, the training, the calm, that will all go out of the window, or at least it could.
There's a few things Vidal's been on at me for like a while ago. He's like, you're a big guy. Like, you need to know how to take a breather during a fight. Like, so there's things you can do to disguise how fucked you are, to sort of back off, circle away, but still act like you're ready for it, but without actually... But what they don't know is you're fucking taking a breather. And they'll be... I don't know if Logan's aware of that or not. I mean, you'd think with Shannon as his coach, he would be.
Exactly.
But
Shannon had a lot of first-round knockouts, though.
Yeah, for a good reason, because by the third, he was fucking brilliant. But actually, in his last fight...
a big part of what the game plan's going to be. It's going to be fascinating, because the size of them, I really do think, is down to simply the game plans that their coaches are telling them to carry out.
So you think there's
all
Logan...
about speed, movement, and making the other guy work hard, because he knows that really, after being dominated by a guy who hadn't boxed or was very new to boxing and was still getting his face pummeled, he's going to have to basically knacker him out. It's a bit.
There was a mention. Yeah, I think there's an Andy Ruiz. Like this is mental to call this like this, but they're going to be like Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua in their game plans. I don't think that they like that in skill, but in terms of Andy Ruiz has to get inside, rough him up, hopefully catch him, and what AJ has to do is keep you on the end of his jab and then pick you apart and eventually break you down.
Which is why I was so excited when I saw JJ's video of him ducking and moving, because if he can work out how to get inside and still take a couple of blows, he's dangerous. He's more dangerous than people are giving him credit for tonight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he's always had power. That's one thing that Vidal's always said. He's got power.
You know,
he's got it.
I'm going to be really honest with you, man. I watched the other fight back on a live stream the other day, and you know, I love him, but a lot of it's really embarrassing. And
he said that. He said that.
Yeah, no.
He said, "I'm so pissed off at myself because I'm so much better than that."
What I'm really liking the sound of now is that he's saying things like he studied the Masters. He knows what was wrong then, and you can see the shape's different. Hopefully.
Did you see him hitting pads at the open workout?
Yeah.
He looked good there, didn't he? I was impressed with that.
It looked
fluid.
They're not hitting back now, are they?
Yeah, but pad work is I agree, but pad work is a good indicator of just general, understanding of how to throw a punch. And you can see he looked way better than he's ever looked. And you would expect so, but I just mean, you got to give him credit. Like, he's definitely learned a lot. I just don't... That fucking tour...
That's not done.
That fucking tour, I always... Every time I think about this fight, I think, that fucking tour, were you back training quick enough? Because I remember going to that gym in West Ham, and I remember I was there, and he was on fucking tour, and I didn't have a fucking fight. Do you know what I'm saying? And Vidal's training me. And I'm like, I'm not fucking getting in the cage with Logan Paul, get in the ring with Logan Paul. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just worried about that, you know what I mean? Was it worth it? Because if there's a moment when you're in... I can only imagine when you're in the ring, you want to know when you get in that ring, I did everything. And from everything what Logan's saying, he feels like he's done, he's not leaving any excuses out there. He's going, I've done everything. I say, how long have you been training? 14 months, every fucking day. Like, when I look at JJ, I know for a fact you haven't done everything you could have done, because in the summer you were you look like a fat guy. For JJ's physique. He looked fat. So I already know he hasn't done everything he could have done in terms of the summer, but does that matter? Because when you've got Mayweather, when you've got Vidal, he might be perfectly up to scratch by now, and he looks in great shape there. But as a mate, that's what worries me. Do you know what I mean?
It's also whether it's less maybe whether he can get into shape in time, because he's clearly in great shape.
Yeah.
It's whether that then plays a mental factor for him, whether he thinks, have I done it? Am I able to do this?
So the reason I'm saying this is because to get fit, for a guy like JJ, couple of months, like, that's what boxing camp is for these boxers. They're not learning how to box better. Camp is actually just getting fit for most of these guys. The reason Tyson Fury's doing WWE is because he's like, what am I going to fucking learn at this point? You know what I mean? I just need to get fit for a fight. I've got all the skills. Out of camp is where you're learning the skills, and at a critical point that these guys are at, when they don't know anywhere near the pros do, like Billy Joe Saunders. It's out of camp where you're learning how to be a better boxer. It's out of camp where all of these skills. 3 weeks before you fight isn't the time to be going to Mayweather's. It's 3 months before you fight.
That's absolutely
right. And that's my worry.
But you know what you were saying there about the 14 months, Logan Paul, like dedication, constant dedication, regardless of anything else going on.
I mean, I've got my own questions about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was in his back garden. With who? I don't know.
I don't necessarily... You need to time it perfectly, right? You need to peak, don't you? You need to be on on an upward trajectory, and then you come into a crescendo, and by the time the fight comes around, you're like a coiled spring. You can't be like that for 14 months. You're training for too long. It needs to be timed so that on the day you're coming into your peak physique, peak conditioning at the exact right moment.
There's not a doubt in my mind that physically JJ tonight will be peaking physically.
Which could be more beneficial than somebody who's been fit for 14 months.
I just mean boxing-wise, in the summer, should he have been learning more boxing technique or rapping with Randolph on stage? That's my honestly, because if I was Randolph, I would have said, don't be fucking going on tour with me, pal.
Well,
get the fucking...
No, you'd have been saying, thank you, JJ.
No, I'm not blaming Randolph for anything here.
Sure.
I'm just putting... while we're on the subject, by the way, I've got a few things I need to remind people of. 15% off at 6 Silk when you use the code TRUE. If you haven't already done that, the link's in the description below. And also, if you want to be in with a chance of winning a little signed glove by me, people thought I should do this, you just have to retweet the live stream tweet that I've put out. We are live. You'll see it on my profile now. And like the video. Sorry, like the stream. No, you haven't liked the stream enough. Cheers.
Stephen, when you went on tour, did you find it difficult to train?
You know what?
Physically.
I was with Will, so a lot of the time I just want to get out of his space.
You're Randolph, as many call him.
Yeah.
I was with Max as well. He's a fitness freak, so me and him would just go out,
Minter.
hit pads.
Yeah.
Not sanitary pads, by the way. And we just
funny pad. Wow.
But no, it is hard to. I definitely wasn't boxing trained. I wasn't doing much, but you're just waiting around in hotels, and not all of them will have gyms. Very few will. So there's very little chance.
not much
training.
No is the answer. Yeah.
Logan will have been doing at least 3 times as much that he's doing.
Yeah.
But JJ's got prior knowledge of boxing because he's been doing it for like 2 years now. So
Maybe watching a lot, maybe studying a little. Maybe some people underestimate how good or how intelligent maybe JJ is.
Well, he's a showman as well. I feel like in LA, with all these superstars in the audience, I feel like he's less likely to be fazed by that than Logan. Because Logan sort of has to become a character, I feel. Mm-hmm. Like in the press conference we saw, I like his approach this year.
I found him very funny.
Yeah. I love how quirky he was.
Do you think he's funny as well? Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's not actually very funny. And I'm like, have I got a shit sense of humour, or is everyone just hating?
I thought he was entertaining.
You know what I mean?
He was really entertaining.
Because I actually was laughing the whole time.
Because the fact that he was being so silly when JJ's trying to be serious, it completely throws him off. I thought it was a good approach. It's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
But do you think in getting angry, JJ believes that he is being truer to boxing?
He's mentioned this a few times, like, you are the reason why people are calling this a disgrace. Like, I'm trying to take this seriously, and you're just being a dick. But the more angry you can get your opponent, the better. Yeah. Like, usually, there's a few people you really don't want to piss off. I think of Dan Henderson and where Bisping thought, I'll just get into his head. That didn't work out very well. But, generally, the less someone is thinking critically and calmly Khabib's not someone you want to piss off. The more pissed off the other guy is, the more he's thinking, take his head off, and the less he's thinking about his strategy, his tactics. I'm not saying that JJ won't be able to switch off, but this is the most interesting thing about
this. Is that where Shannon Briggs is so useful? Because he is so irritating.
Yeah.
He does press people's buttons.
Yeah, he was great at that. As much as everyone thinks he's a dumb idiot or whatever, I thought he actually played a great role in that press conference for Logan, because he took the majority of the abuse and he made it a little bit about him, and a lot of people are saying that's a bad thing, but right now you're shielding your boy a bit, you know?
He does fill Logan with confidence, you can see. So it's a useful little parrot to have on his side, you know?
Yeah.
And in terms of some of the things that JJ was saying when Logan went, he goes, I put my blood, sweat and tears, and Logan goes, I thought you didn't bleed. And JJ went, internally, and everyone just laughed at him. And for someone with an ego like JJ, everyone laughing at him in that room, and even Joe Weller messaged me and was like, it was so weird seeing JJ on the end of all of that, because he's normally, let's not forget, the first London press conference, the first fight, JJ did 5 minutes of stand-up comedy. I'm sitting there I can't even intervene. This is non-stop. And Logan walked away. It felt like it was a total reversal this time round, where the confidence was with Logan, and JJ was the one who was getting angry and frustrated by the whole situation.
I think it's because JJ really does. It feels like he wants to, as much as enjoy this, take it seriously or be taken seriously. So he wants to be less of the, the mad entertainer and saying random stuff, and just about, I really am a boxer now, pro boxer. I keep hearing it a lot. Pro boxers.
We've seen JJ in the London press conference as well. He just sat there. He was very calm. He didn't give the same. He wasn't the same JJ as last year. He was trying to take it seriously. Yeah. And I think Logan's taken the opposite approach. Like, I'm just going to fuck with this guy until the bitter end here and hope that I get in his head. Like, even today, he did a video, like, my last message to JJ. I'm like, you're, like, going to the bitter end on this, aren't you? Like, you're fighting him tonight, bro. You'll see him later on, and he's still doing another video where he's like, got it one more time. Well, just let me remind you, this is my favourite bit where I fucked with you. Like, and then there's a bit where they're having the face-off chat, and JJ's like, you're the reason why people think this is a joke, and Logan's like, kind of mad, aren't you? Like, and I'm watching this like, wow, like, and Logan gets up at the end and he goes, you think you're hard? You're a rapper who went to private school.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Like, and he's just constantly going at him. And JJ just storms off, and then Logan shouts "pussy." Yeah. And like in a really and someone went, "Oh, do you want to shake hands?" And he was like, and Logan even then was like being sarcastic.
Logan realizes that broad appeal though, doesn't it? Where he thinks, okay, I'm never really going to win the boxing guys over. So why sit there and go, hey, I'll watch this,
I don't think it's anything to do with broad appeal. I think Logan thinks, I just have to keep fucking with him and get him angry as fuck.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, he realizes what his broad appeal is. He realizes the appeal is him being Logan Paul. Yeah. He realizes it's not him going into a room and going, okay, so I know Muhammad Ali, I know blah, 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 and listing a load of very top-line boxers. He knows he's never going to win that boxing crowd over. So double down, be Logan Paul, and those people might just buy into it and love you. You're taking them away from DAZN as much as DAZN are taking them from you.
It reminds me of a UFC fight I seen a while ago. Two light guys, I think bantamweight, Cody Garbrandt and Dominic Cruz. I don't know if you remember that one, Hugh. And Dominic Cruz was expected to walk through Cody. Cody was the younger guy, and Cody was trolling him in the fight. He was doing the robot in the whole thing was like, you can't hit me, you can't hit me. And every time he was getting angrier and angrier, and the guy was overcommitting more and more. He was like, tag, tag, tag. And before we knew it, he'd almost finished him. And the mind state that Logan's in right now was like, verbally, he's like, you can't hit me, you can't hit me. I expect to see that in the ring as well. I expect to see him trying not to be hit and actually riling JJ up a little bit in that way as well. Like, I think his style in interviews is a precursor to his style in the ring. He wants to make JJ mad and overcommit, because part of the problem last time was sort of Logan was leading the dance. He was throwing all the punches, he was doing all the work, and JJ was absorbing it. If you really want to get a finish on someone, the best way to do it is get them to go for you and just pick them off. Yeah, a counter punch is...
They don't see it coming.
No, that's the knockout, always. And I expect that's the part of the... Get JJ to overcommit and then counter him.
But obviously you've got a relationship with them, and you've done your interviews, and on some level you've got a friendship.
Yeah.
Is it actually palpable hatred between the two of them?
So here's the thing. There's some shit that isn't for cameras. So I'll tell you, I got a text message. What was it, yesterday? I can't even remember. Yesterday from Logan. Geordie, can I tell you something? I'm like,
yeah.
I actually was a bit worried. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, can I tell you something? Sounds like there's an injury.
Breaking up with you.
Is there a problem? Yeah, break my little heart. I was like, yeah, of course, mate. I'm not going to say out to anyone. Just, what is it? What's up? He goes, I'm going to hurt this man very badly. And I was like, what the fuck are you telling me? Like, the fact that he's texting me that, I'm like...
Why are you telling me this?
No, but in my head, I'm like... He's just absolutely sure in his own mind that that's what's going to happen, because why else would you be telling me? You know what I mean? I'm not fucking...
It's personal.
Yeah, like...
This is personal.
He's having that as a... I mean, I don't think you expect...
And is it mutual? Do you feel like JJ also has a hatred towards
I think JJ hates Logan more.
Wow.
Because I think JJ is getting angrier and angrier in the press conferences, whereas what Logan's saying is, I'm going to hurt him very badly. But actually, I think Logan doesn't hate JJ. He's actually said in the press conference, I see him as and he could be anyone. Last time I hated him, now he's just the guy who I'm going to complete my story against. This is about me, not about him. And I think that's a good approach. I don't know, though. I could be wrong about JJ. He just seems really pissed off at the guy. Am I wrong? Do you think I'm wrong, lads?
I've definitely got that, but it's very difficult to deduce what is facade and personality and kind of what you're trying to project, both for your opponent and for your personality on camera.
Yeah.
And what is how you legitimately feel in your heart. And so I think it's quite easy when you're not involved to kind of think this is a superficial, staged creation, because the more we think they hate each other, the more likely we are to watch the fight.
Boxing is very performative in that sense, though, isn't it? Like, I think a lot of people miss that performativity of boxing.
Absolutely, it's theatre. But what you sometimes get is it goes beyond that. Sometimes it isn't theatre. And I was wondering, because of your relationship, is this theatre or is this...
So it isn't theatre.
But in the podcast, I guess...
It's got to be a bit theatre.
Oh, yeah.
These guys have clearly, they're very intelligent. They've watched Mayweather and McGregor, and they've... Come on.
Well, they know that's one of the only ways they're going to sell the fight to people, is that if they both went, we're both looking forward to a nice charitable fight.
If we go back to when JJ called Logan out, he called Logan out because he knew it was the fight to make. It was the obvious, who can match him? Who can give me a challenge physically and in terms of entertainment, subscribers? This isn't like hatred in that regard, but it's becoming more than what it was, isn't it? It used to be about being number one. Now it's God, I'd love to beat that guy. Surely it is becoming that way.
It certainly feels that.
Yeah. Even when you see the hatred between the coaches, I mean, it is becoming that.
The cool question that we asked, or that you asked in the podcast, Brian, was when you said you'll look back on this, maybe you'll be friends in
I said in 20 years' time, I bet you watch this together like Rocky and Apollo.
The interesting side of that was it didn't seem like an alien concept to...
JJ laughed at it. He was like, maybe.
That they would sit down and look back.
But then 2 days ago, JJ said, even after the fight, suck your mum. But it's becoming more. And that was when Logan went, you're a rapper, but from a private school. Like, Fame MMA, links in the description below if you want to buy tickets to that event in Newcastle. YouTubers, entertainers, scrapping in a cage. I might be commentating.
It's going to be good. I mean, it does say on the VT that you are.
What were you going to say before? I can't remember. Oh, is the super chat on?
Yeah, there's lots
The
of
super chat's on. We will get them, guys. Sorry. I mean, it's
Good night for
intense right now.
boxing or
The
just,
chat
I don't
is.
know, a little bit
It's. I'm feeling the nerves.
It's good.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that sometimes we are a little nervous for JJ and I. We are stacking them up though on our iPad, so don't worry about that. Dude, honestly, one of the realest I've come across on YouTube. Keep being you. I freaking love your podcast, mate. Thank you. That was a message from me there.
I knew that was coming.
I feel for you, Geordie. Two of your good friends you've been watching getting battered. Thank you, True Geordie. You are one of the guys who inspire me to hustle and grind with my channel, and I respect you a lot.
Good luck.
Spelled A-L-L-O-T.
Good luck, bro.
Like an allotment.
Yes. That person's really inspired to grow vegetables. I reckon Logan will win, lads. Can you give me your final predictions? They're coming up in a little while. I've been here since basically the start, Geordie. Madness how you've come so far. Quick question for Rory. What episode of Doctor Who were you on?
The Idiot's Lantern. It was definitely not the best ever
Do you know,
episode.
I
but-
really didn't expect this to be part of the conversation.
No,
I love
there you
it.
go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the David Tennant years. Good
They were
times.
the best years.
The
They were the
David
best
Tennant
years on
years.
Doctor Who, yeah. The first two fights were already good. Question for everybody seems to put the tour for JJ down as a disadvantage, but nobody talks about the hamstring of Logan.
Ooh, good
Did
shout.
have an effect on his training.
Tell you. Good
Is that
show.
August?
By the way, can we go full screen on this fight? Because this fight's about to get good.
Billy Joe
And
Saunders.
Go on,
obviously, it's
Billy.
Billy Joe that everyone's been.
Two
looking forward to.
undefeated
Is Billy wearing the
scrappers.
USA?
Oh, there's
Oh, there's Stuart.
Hello,
man.
Stuart.
Of course, Billy Joe, a
Stuart
close friend of
messaged me.
Stuart.
Stuart is the guy of Upload who actually arranged the first couple of fights.
My invoice is late, Stu, by the way. So.
Stuart,
Stu, mine too.
he messaged me on WhatsApp going, oh shit, because he's obviously in Team JJ because I think JJ is a co-owner of the Upload agency or something like that, and they're very good friends. And he was like, Logan looks way bigger than he did last time. Oh
Yeah.
fuck. So yeah, Billy Joe Saunders about it.
Team JJ there.
But one of the reasons that they decided to put pro boxers on the main card with these guys instead of YouTubers is for people like Billy Joe Saunders to get the eyes on them that they deserve. What we're seeing right now, he's getting us off in the American flag shorts, which Logan's going to be wearing something similarly.
I like that.
And we did see quite a few empty seats there. I imagine that because there's rumours that the seats were so expensive around the ring that the cheap seats sold and the expensive ones didn't, and they're just going to move everyone down. But the people who've actually paid for the expensive seats will be
They'll be
like,
livid.
So they'll be like,
There's
how much do you
fine.
pay for yours? 70 quid. I paid 500 quid for
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like when you've paid for first
Yeah.
class on a plane and somebody gets bumped up. Like, mate, what are you
Nightmare.
doing? I bought this.
Yeah, that person has been very, very loyal to that company.
Anything else on the super chat, laws?
Loads and loads.
Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Appreciate it.
What do you guys like about Billy Joe? Because
I
you know,
love
obviously-
him. Love him.
Why?
He
I love
is in
his
a fight here, by
personality, everything about him. He's exactly what I want from. Exactly what I want from.
Did you see what he
boxing.
said
He's
about
likeable,
on the
cheeky,
press conference?
chappy. You know, I'm a sexy.
Funny on Twitter.
Said that
On
he's
the
gonna
press
fuck him up.
conference, he goes, "Yeah, I'm really glad to be on this card. You know, some great fighters, some great talent, and a couple of YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like so
What are you
fucking
doing?
like
Yeah.
on the nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like the way he did something similar as well. And he.
He's like very good friends with Tyson Fury. They're
Yeah.
both travelers and that, and both slick, proper boxers, if I would say. You know what I mean? Like they rely on technique and predicting what the other guy's going to do first. This is like, if you're watching this and you're a YouTube fan, like this is the elite kind of boxing that Eddie Hearn
Gosh,
wants
you're
you
getting
to
it.
fall in love with. And
I think
fuck me. That ring doesn't look massive, does
No,
it?
it's
No,
small
it's
ring.
quite claustrophobic.
Yeah.
That is the other side. I think Eddie Hearn's been so smart here to put people alongside that when you watch the boxing, it's not going to be those guys who are just going to have to slug it out and make an ugly fight. He's gone, this guy's going to make people love boxing.
Yeah.
That is smart.
Well, Billy Joe's he's very slick, but he's not like a knockout artist.
Yeah, he sort of makes you look stupid
Yeah.
and basically outpoints you the whole time. But he can't chin people.
Definitely, yeah.
He had a good sort of debatable decision win against Eubank Jr., didn't he? A long time ago. But
Yeah.
their careers have gone in opposite directions since then. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of that.
About that hamstring, Brian.
Yeah, Logan Paul's hamstring. We do forget about that, but it was fucking purple after that running event. And, like, for all he's saying, he was training every day. Like, the fact that he was running, like, Billy Joe's going for it, yeah. The fact that he was running, like, the way he was, clearly he was taking care of his fitness. Rory is feeling it right now watching Billy Joe.
Do you reckon he'll get, like, the Golovkin-Canelo fights? Because they seem to be... He said they've dodged him for a while.
I think they're next up. I think the problem with Billy Joe is there's the risk there without the reward, because he hasn't got a massive name and he's a legit boxer. So it's like...
That's why tonight's so big for him.
Yeah. Because this is his
opportunity to put on a show.
Yeah, it's his birthday, isn't it?
Embraced by the American fans. This is awesome.
Good birthday.
In regards...
He's definitely opening them up already in the first.
In regards to the hamstring, I think that... I asked Logan and he said, luckily it wasn't a bad hamstring injury. It just looked really bad. It wasn't a tear. It was just a real bruise. And the fact that he was physically pushing himself to a point where he was like, yeah, I'm just going to do a fitness thing. I'm just going to do I guess I'd still say that isn't as bad as just doing what JJ did. But if we see limited movement from Logan out of nowhere tonight, a bit like when David Hay came back and fought with a dodgy ankle, that's when you're like, this is an issue, actually. Or if he can't quite spring off the back foot.
I felt so sorry for David Hay there.
Yeah.
It was horrible to see, wasn't it?
He actually won the hearts of the fans back by losing.
That was the first time
Yeah.
people liked him again, wasn't it?
He had no other choice in his head, at least, but to fight on through that.
Yeah, it was
And
horrible.
I think that was...
But he wound people up previously, didn't he? Do you remember when? Because he got beaten quite convincingly. And then
He got
blamed
beaten
his
by
toe.
Klitschko. He blamed his toe
I
on it.
in my life right now. I need this to happen
This other guy
tonight.
is
Yeah.
legit, by the
Logan
way.
Yeah, it's a
Not
good
like
fight.
that
This.
Billy
fucking
Joe's
guy
trying to
out,
toy with
not
him, but the other guy's
joking,
definitely
knock
not
him
like
fucking
a chump.
out,
He did
bruv.
say this though,
Knock
Saunders.
him
I saw in the press
out,
conference. He was
bruv.
like, "Look, this is a real fight. This
Fucking
is the toughest fight of my
knock
career so
him
far. I'm going to
out,
win it,
mate.
but it's
You
definitely
don't
the toughest
fucking
fight I've had so
represent
far."
all of
He's
us in
using
the UK,
great
so
head
knock
movement.
that
It's going to
fucking
be mad when they go
cunt
from
out,
this
bruv.
That is
JJ
amazing.
and
Fucking
Kiss
knock
and
him
Kid
out,
Logan.
bruv. I'll
Yeah.
fucking do it myself.
He's got that,
knock
like,
him
slick,
out, bruv. I need this in my life. Knock him out.
Really?
Nowhere to hide in this ring, though, is
It's
there?
tiny, isn't it? Is it a tiny ring?
While
It
we're
does
on
look
it,
small.
this ring size, in theory, should benefit JJ because JJ is JJ's trying to cut the ring off while Logan moves back and lands the jab and basically makes his reach and power count. And what JJ wants to do is turn it into a dirty fight where you can get up close to him. And a small ring is better for that. It seems like this ring's small anyway. I might be wrong, but
Billy Joe went
Maybe
really